Got one idea that I'm especially psyched out of my mind about. You know, it's one of those ideas where you're just like, yes!
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Dave Flynn?
On the radio.
Hold on to your butts.
Hey there, welcome to Dave Flynn on the radio, the #1 blogcast on the internet. I'm Dave Flynn, and since reading is hard, I'm going to do it for you. Today, we're talking about that voice in your head, the one that tells you to stop, to play it safe, to protect the nice little painting you've already created. This episode's going to help you recognize that voice and diagnose when it's running the show and what that is costing you. Whether you're a parent, a coach, a creator, maybe just somebody who's been staring at the metaphorical canvas, unsure of what to do next. We're going to draw on insights from Bob Ross, yes, that Bob Ross, and Timothy Gallwey, author of The Inner Game of Tennis, which I highly recommend, and a little wisdom from a 10-year-old I know very well who figured out something most adults never do. You can find more stories and essays like this at winwithflynn.com, but if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's jump into the show. Keep the brush moving. For 20 years, Robert Ross made you scrub the latrine. Master Sergeant, First Sergeant, the guy who screams at you for being late, who inspects the corners of your bed, who demands perfection. That was his job at Elson Air Force Base in Alaska. And he was damn good, too. But he hated it. The job requires you to be a mean, tough person, he said, and I was fed up with it. I promised myself if I ever got away, it wasn't going to be that way anymore. He did get away. He'd actually been sneaking off for years, using lunch breaks to paint Alaskan landscapes on gold panning tins, selling them to tourists, making more money from painting than from the military, becoming something totally different. You've probably seen him, the perm, the soft voice, a PBS show that ran for 11 years with reruns for decades after, drawn in by that soothing tap, tap, tap of the brush, palette knife scraping mountains out of the clear blue sky. The show put you into a trance, but it will also have you scratching your head. After 10 minutes, the painting is taking shape, and a novice might stop there. But Robert Ross pushes on. He adds layers, texture, a bush here, some friends there. If you're watching for the first time, you might panic with each addition. The hell is he doing? He's ruining it. And that's pretty close to the truth. It would be ruined if he stopped. But he's not done, and it's not ruined. Actually, it's a touch closer to being great. He understood, probably better than anyone, the voice that makes you panic. He's ruining it. Fix it. Stop. That voice is the enemy. In The Inner Game of Tennis, Timothy Gallwey calls it Self-1, the conscious critic. The instructor in your head who says, bend your knees, rack it back, step into it. Not like that. What are you doing? Self-2 is instinct, the part that already knows how to move, how to adjust, how to learn through doing. Self-1 is Master Sergeant Robert Ross, a real hard son of a bitch. Self-2? Well, that's Bob Ross, America's favorite painting teacher. On this canvas, he said, you can do anything your heart desires. He wasn't just talking about painting. Bob's whole method, wet on wet painting, a la prima, finish a canvas in 28 minutes. It was an attack on Self-1, the enemy. Traditional oil painting forces you to stop, to wait for layers to dry. And in that waiting, the doubt creeps in. Is this right? Should I fix that? What will people think? I'm no artist. Wet on wet removes the waiting, removes the rumination, removes the judging. You keep moving. Momentum builds stability. You attack the canvas, and you don't let up until it's complete. Give resistance and self-doubt an inch, and they will take a mile. Bob kept the brush moving, so Self One couldn't get a word in. We don't make mistakes, he said. We have happy little accidents. He built this gentleness deliberately. He swung the pendulum to the opposite of everything he'd been in the military. He knew exactly how loud Self One could get because he'd been Self One for 2 decades. He designed a method to starve that voice of oxygen. I coach my son's teams, and I'm guilty of being Robert Ross from time to time. Not the screaming, I'm not a drill sergeant, but the correcting. Coaching every rep. Elbow up, follow through, square those shoulders, like they have a joystick on their head. Larry Bird's parents were pretty tough on him, but they never subjected him to slow motion replays of his jumper at 10 years old. I was working with the team last week, talking about the beef method for shooting, and somewhere in the middle of it, I thought, these kids, they'll figure out how to get the ball in the hoop if I just let them play. But I can't help myself. Swings off the tee, math homework, turkey sandwiches. I've got methods for all of them. And I feel compelled to blabber those methods all over the place. Why? When my kid misses a shot, I feel it. I know I shouldn't, but I do. It feels like a reflection of my coaching, of my parenting, of my friggin' DNA. So I correct. I instruct and I tinker. I want him to have something that is his. Anything, really. A thing he excels at, is passionate about. So I clear the path. But every correction makes it a little more mine and a little less his. I know the kids play best when they're loose, when they're not thinking, they're just feeling. And then I turn the whole sport into painting by numbers. I want to see something that resembles the picture I have in my mind, rather than letting them interpret the idea in their own way. Don't mistake activity for achievement. I try to quiet my own Self One, telling me that my child's performance or my team's performance is a reflection of me. See, shoot, I did it again. My team? It's a reflection of them. Their body, their timing, their joy. I forget that it's their game to win or lose. I forget that there are ways to win that have nothing to do with the scoreboard. Being the most excited to play, having the most fun, being the best teammate. I forget because my Self One is so convincing. It wants to be everyone else's Self One as well. Their bodies are changing, their neural pathways are forming, so I'm told. They are quite literally works in progress. Wet on wet. So on my good days, I try to coach intent, to coach and parent their self too. Not mechanics and scenarios, but feel. A high arching shot in basketball, the one that lands soft, has a descending angle, that improves the odds of it going through the hoop. How you do it? Well, that's on you, bud. A line drive up the middle in baseball. Just hit it hard, somewhere, hopefully in the air. That's the desired outcome. Self two, with proper time and space, will figure out the rest. I've coached kids who left for spring break and came back a foot taller. They lost all control over their limbs, baby giraffes on roller skates. The step-by-step procedure they'd been using doesn't work anymore. Nothing feels right. The temptation is to load them up with the latest instructions. Diagnose the problem. How's the grip? Elbow up, follow through. But that just makes Self One louder. The better version looks something like this. The same kid, the same spring break, just hanging at the lake. And Between cannonballs, he's playing a little catch with his cousin. Not thinking about anything, just trying to hit the glove. That kid's body is learning to feel. Something clicks. Some neural pathway connects. Self 2 figures it out while Self 1 is on vacation. Bob Ross retired from the Air Force in 1981. For 20 years, his day job had been yelling at people, demanding procedures be followed. He was still finding his way, teaching painting classes at malls and Holiday Inns. The TV show didn't start until 1983. He was 40. 40! Talent is a pursued interest, he said. Anything that you're willing to practice, you can do. The critics who said he was doing it wrong, the traditional painters who called his work mass-produced kitsch, whose lives did they touch? Who did they inspire? Bob wasn't trying to create museum paintings. He was trying to get people to pick up the brush. Am I coaching the next Bryce Harper? I have no way of knowing. But the goal is much easier to define and achieve. To get kids to pick up the ball. And then to give them just the slightest push. To urge them to go just a little bit further. There's a test at the end of every episode of The Joy of Painting. With about 2 minutes left, Bob would take his beautiful landscape and slash right down through it, adding a big old tree in the foreground. His producer, even after years of working together, would be terrified. Bob called it a bravery test. What the hell is he doing? He's ruining it. If you're brave, the tree gives depth, perspective. The painting goes from flat to alive. Sure, you could skip the tree. The painting would be fine without it. Pleasant, even. Hang it on the wall. Get some compliments. But there's a ceiling on fine. If you want to reach the next level, you have to risk ruining the whole damn thing. My son's basketball team, they ran a ball handling drill every single practice this season. Every time, the ask was the same. Keep your eyes up. Go slow if you need to. Walk if you must. But keep your head up. They didn't do it. All season, they raced. Eyes down, chasing the ball, trying to be first. A few weeks ago, something shifted. Kids were walking. Eyes were up. Some of them exaggerated it. They were staring almost at the ceiling, fighting the urge to look down. I asked my son, what happened? The whole team? All at once? It's not a race, he said. It's like we made up this race that wasn't even real. I asked what changed, thinking maybe one of the other coaches had talked to them. He said, I guess we all just got sick of the other team taking the ball from us. They figured out that the fast way wasn't the good way. They had to break themselves down a little to build themselves back up. That is the bravery test. And you can't pass it if Master Sergeant Robert Ross is running the show. That guy says, don't risk it. You'll look stupid. What will people think? The bravery test requires Bob Ross, the guy that keeps the brush moving. If we give kids the space to bravely slash right down through whatever it is they're working on, they'll make a habit of it. The career that's comfortable but capped. The relationship that's fine, but it could be great. The creative work that's good enough, but not yet what it could be. Every meaningful leap requires a moment where you look at the nice little painting you've made and decide, even with just 2 minutes left, you're going to add a big, fat tree right in the middle of it. Most people won't do it. But the ones who learn early that temporary destruction is the price of growth carry that lesson everywhere. Master Sergeant Robert Ross spent 20 years screaming, correcting, demanding perfection. Then he killed that voice. He starved it. He built a method designed to keep it quiet. 28 minutes, no stopping, no waiting, no time to judge. I haven't killed mine yet. I know it's there. I can hear him in the corrections, the methods, the compulsion to coach every rep. And I'm working on it. Bob Ross didn't nail it till he was 40, but he was becoming it the whole time. I hope, I am too. Keep the brush moving, the kids playing. It's a process. And as Bob Ross said, if you don't like it, change it. It's your world. There we have it. That's the pod. Thank you for listening. If you like what you hear, please share it with a friend. Give it a thumbs up. And if you've got a few extra seconds, give it a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify or wherever you are listening. The engagement will make you feel so good, and it'll help other people find the show. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
All right, there you go, America. I love you. I'm proud of you. I mean it.
You gotta go.
We gotta go. This is great.